Okay, today we're going to look at the different cell organelles, okay, from prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, and we're going to go over their parts. So if you have your cell packet, the pre-quiz packet, then we'll just fill in the answers as we go. Okay, so first cell part, cell membrane. Every cell has a cell membrane. It's the outer covering of the cell that controls what goes in and out. So on your answer sheet, it doesn't say cell membrane. Instead, it says plasma membrane. That is the exact same thing. So sometimes they use cell membrane, sometimes they use plasma membrane. So that's answer choice O. And the right-hand column says plasma membrane. Underneath plasma, write cell in parentheses, so you know it means the same thing. That matches with answer choice number 9, controls what enters and leaves the cell. Okay? So again, O should go with 9. And here I just have some pictures of different kinds of skin, right? Your cell membrane basically makes up your skin, controls what goes in and out of your body, just like the cell membrane controls what goes in and out of your cell. Okay, next we have the cytoplasm. On your answer sheet, cytoplasm, let's see, is letter L, matches up with letter 12, because the cytoplasm is the jelly-like fluid that suspends the organelles within it. So it's mostly made up of water. Okay, the cytoplasm looks like all that blank space, but it's really full of water. Now, not on your answer sheet. Okay, we're going to add in, so underneath answer choice O, put in answer choice P, cytoskeleton. And under answer choice number 15, add number 16, and you're going to just write down helps maintain cell shape and helps move the cell. So this right here, helps maintain cell shape and helps move the cell, is the cytoskeleton. Cyto actually means cell, and skeleton is the same thing as what your skeleton is. And what does your skeleton do? It helps give you shape and helps you move. So cytoskeleton does the same thing for the cell that your skeleton does for you. Okay, next we have the nucleus. Okay, the nucleus contains the DNA. Okay, the outside of the nucleus, if you look at the picture here, look, the outside of the nucleus is called the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane. Okay, those things mean the same thing, that has little holes in it that let stuff come in and out of the nucleus. Okay, so nuclear membrane is H, and that matches answer choice number 1. Okay, nucleus, which is G, matches answer choice 11, controls the activities of the cell. And then there's one more called the nucleolus. Notice how that word is different. So answer choice K says nucleolus. Okay, and the answer for that is number 10. Ribosomes are made here. So this little structure, the dark circle inside of the nucleus, is called the nucleolus, and that's in charge of making ribosomes. Okay, just another analogy. I consider the nucleus to be like the skull. Okay, knock on your skull, right? It's hard. It protects what? The brain inside. So just like your nucleus is more like the skull, and the brain is really the DNA, because the DNA is where all the information is, just like where the brain is. So the nucleus' job is to protect the DNA, and the DNA is actually what's controlling everything. Next, we have the ribosomes. Again, another cell part found in all cells. Ribosomes are so important because they are where the proteins get made. Okay, so find ribosomes, letter F, okay, and the job is number 4, where proteins are made. Okay, notice in this definition here on the screen it says protein synthesis. The word synthesis means to make. Okay, so in parentheses after where you have are made, put synthesis down, because that word is important. You might see that other times where you see synthesis, it means to make something. So the job of a ribosome is to make proteins. Okay, the ribosomes are often found on the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so we call it ER for short. If it's rough ER, that means it has ribosomes attached. So this here is ribosomes attached to the ER. If it doesn't have any ribosomes attached, it's called smooth ER. The job of the ER, look at, it's like little tunnels. Okay, you can see it's like little tunnels. Its job is to transport. So the job of the ER, okay, is A is ER and matches with number 2, surface for chemical activities. Okay, that means it's going to be helping the ribosomes make the proteins and package them and change them up. Okay, and the smooth ER is also responsible for making lipids. So that's what it means by chemical activities, but its real job is to transport the nutrients through the cell. Okay, so when I think of the ER, I think of our circulatory system and how stuff has to get around our body, just like stuff has to get around the cell. And so our circulatory system helps bring stuff places, just like the ER helps bring stuff places. Okay, and our liver has lots of smooth ER because our liver is where all our fat gets made, and it's also where all our poisons get detoxified. So if you're wondering about why your liver gets damaged, say when you drink alcohol, it's because your liver is going to get lots of smooth ER, and that's what detoxifies those poisons. So people who build up a tolerance to alcohol actually have built up a lot of smooth ER in their cells. Next, we move on to the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi complex. That's letter B. Its job is to package the proteins. Okay, so in yours, that's number 7. I want you to circle the word packages. It says to store, package, and release nutrients and waste, but what I want you to add is after the word waste, add the word protein, because really its job is to package the protein. Okay, so some of the times the job of it's to package it up and send it off out of the cell, or sometimes it packages it for stuff that gets used within the cell. Some people call the Golgi like the post office because it's where you go to package stuff to send it somewhere else. Lysosomes are really important for breaking stuff down. They're kind of like the stomach of the cell. Okay, so lysosomes are letter J, and that matches with number 3, contains enzymes, and this is the site of digestion. Next to that, please write down this prefix here. LYS means to break apart. Lysosomes are in charge of breaking stuff down. Just like Lysol breaks up dirt, lysosomes break stuff down in your cells. I consider it to be like the stomach of your cell. It helps break stuff down. Okay, next we have the mitochondria. The mitochondria are really important because they're your energy source. Okay, not that they give you the energy, but they take the energy from your food. So when you eat, your food is going to eventually make its way to the mitochondria of your cell. Your mitochondria makes the food energy into a different kind of chemical energy called ATP, in a process called cellular respiration. So letter I is mitochondria, and that matches up with number 13, site of cellular respiration to make energy for the cell. Okay, again, as we're going through this, make sure you're looking at what the organelles look like. Not only do you need to know what they do, but you need to know what they look like. So look at the structure here of the mitochondria. It's sort of bean-shaped with all these little squiggly folds inside, and we're going to learn more about that and why it's so important. Okay, moving on to the centrioles. Okay, centrioles are only found in animal cells, and they're really helpful for cell division. So in an animal cell, when it has to undergo mitosis, the centrioles help form spindle fibers, which are going to pull and move the chromosomes apart. Okay, plant cells don't move so much when they divide, which is why one of the reasons they don't have them. So on your answer sheet, centrioles is, let's see, where is it? Letter E. Okay, and that matches with number 5, structures involved in cell division. Okay, we're done with our animal cell almost. Okay, let's see. Sometimes animal cells, oh, that got cut off a little bit. Sometimes animal cells have 2 structures called cilia and flagella. Okay, so on your list, you're actually going to add these in. Okay, so on the bottom hand side of your paper, add in cilia and flagella. So here's cilia, C-I-L-I-A, and flagella. Cilia are the hairs and flagellas are the tails, and both are responsible for helping with movement inside the cell. Okay, so make sure you've added cilia, the hairs, and the flagella is the tail on the bottom of your page. Okay, next we have the vacuole. Vacuoles are used for storage. In plants, they usually have one giant vacuole, whereas in animal cells, they're going to have lots of little vacuoles. So on your answer sheet, you have answer choice C and D, vacuole for animal and vacuole for plant. C matches number 15, and D matches number 14. Cell wall, okay. The job of the cell wall is to provide structure and support. So it's usually nice and rigid, okay, and it's in plants, but it's also in bacteria. Oops, and I should have wrote fungi on there too, because fungus also have cell walls. In fact, almost all cells have cell walls except for animal cells, some protists, and some bacteria. So there's more cells with a cell wall than there are without. Okay, so on your answer sheet, cell wall is M, which matches number 6. Okay, and last but not least, we have the chloroplast. Notice the color. Again, notice what they look like in shape. They're pretty round, and they've got lots of stacks of little circles inside. Okay, those are the structures that hold the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is the green pigment, makes the plant green. Okay, and that's what absorbs the sunlight so that the plant can do photosynthesis. Okay, so chloroplast is letter N, which matches number 8 on your packet. Okay, so these are the parts of the cell. You need to know what each organelle does, what its job is, and what it looks like. And that's it for today.